Holy cow. We just had a big change. A big metric just flipped. And this is when Bitcoin's price goes up. It's almost one for one when Bitcoin's price goes up is directly correlated to this thing, this chart that we're going to show. We also have some breaking news throughout crypto, and we just broke 62K on Bitcoin. Okay, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on, a lot of numbers I have to show. And I know some people are having a good time. We have 48 hours for BlackRock before they screw everything up or before they pump this to the moon. We have the whole market flipping. Everything is changing. Let's cover a lot of that. If you don't mind, hit subscribe. Turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this one. I feel like I've been running around all day. Had a couple things that have come up. But it's so good to be here at the computer talking to you guys because there's a lot going on. If you do want to trade cryptocurrency, there's going to be a link to Margex underneath the video. This is a great platform if you want a long or short cryptocurrency. And there's no KYC, which means they don't ask for a bunch of your personal information. You can just sign up with a username or an email, a password. You can check their terms and conditions and start trading here. And they have this new convert function. I've been loving this. So when you have other cryptocurrencies that you want to convert to cash or to maybe Bitcoin, it's very easy and they're not charging any fees on that right now. Also, you can refer other people. I don't know if you knew that, but you can refer other people as well. It's powered by TradingView, so you can chart wherever you want and it will be here the next time you log in. You don't have to go back and forth between TradingView. And this is the time. This is the time when you want to get your long positions ready because we are starting to move back up. Let's take a look at this. We actually have negative Bitcoin weighted funding rates, negative ETH funding rates. This is good. What does this mean exactly? Well, it means that people that are shorting are actually paying to short, which means that they're feeling very strongly about their positions. Maybe either they're just weighted heavier or there are more people doing this. This is typically a good sign for a reversal because the market seems to hurt the people that have the most on the line. Like it always looks for max pain, and max pain is moving up now. The max pain for Bitcoin's price is if we go up. We have a lot of short liquidations. You can see this here from 59 to 61.6 very quickly. A lot of shorts were liquidated there. We can actually see that here. 96 million worth of shorts liquidated in the last 24 hours. Let's actually reload that. Yep, 96.5 million. So yeah, it's not a good day to be a short. That's why I say, you can short crypto, but I would not do that because this is the best performing asset class. And just when you think it's going to go down, it's typically when it moves up. We also have gotten a lot of cool information, a lot of good information, a lot of important information, and some crazy information over the last 24 hours. BlackRock says sovereign wealth funds, pension funds, and endowments are coming to Bitcoin. Fidelity says pension funds are starting to explore investing into Bitcoin and crypto. So yeah, we have BlackRock and Fidelity both saying that pensions are coming. Pensions are notoriously underfunded. They need really good returns to be able to make up that money that they've lost and overpromised, underdelivered on. And Bitcoin does just that. I've actually shown it so many times in charts why so many people need Bitcoin. Going through different spreadsheets, Bitcoin can fix a lot of holes. It can fix a lot of problems because it outperforms so well. So both BlackRock and Fidelity are onboarding pension funds and sovereign wealth funds into the Bitcoin ETFs. Bitwise is scouring every RIA and wirehouse in the country and onboarding advisors and wealth management teams daily. Demand for Bitcoin will accelerate. Keep in mind too, when you're onboarded, right? When you start buying, you probably buy the smallest amount first and then start scaling up. Like if you're using a new platform, right? You don't just go put all your money on the platform. Or if you buy a new position, you're not putting everything you want into that position right away. No, especially when it's something new like this, you put in a little bit, you watch it move, you see how it reacts, you see how easy it is to get money in and out, you look at the liquidity, you test the liquidity. We've seen that before with a lot of wallets where they'll deposit some Bitcoin in, make sure that they have the wallet set up, maybe do a small sell at some point to see how that works, and then they'll continue buying. So these pensions, these RIAs, these sovereign wealth funds, they're going to test it a little bit first. And it's so much easier now with the Bitcoin ETFs to buy Bitcoin. So yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of money coming in, and we can already see some people saying, hey, I can't wait any longer. I mean, Mr. 100, we covered this yesterday, but Mr. 100 has been on a bigger buying spree than he was yesterday even. So he sold 1,000 Bitcoin. This is on the 22nd of April. Since then, 108, 206, 105. I'm not going to go through all these. He bought about 4,500 Bitcoin, 4,400 Bitcoin within the last about 29 hours, 30 hours, something like that. They bought a significant amount. They, he, she, whoever it is, we don't know who. They just added about 7 or 8% onto their position within a day. They said, okay, I've waited on the sidelines enough. I'm going to buy this. So they bought 57 all the way up to 60, basically 62, basically the price that we're at right now. They bought a significant amount, right? So they're swallowing this up. We can see whales in general accumulated 47,000 Bitcoin in the last 24 hours. We're entering a new era. Like this little thread there, that little spike up that's so thin, that's the last day. That's how much Bitcoin has been bought up within 24 hours. It's crazy how much these whales are buying. And I've been saying this, like there's fear in the market. That's when you want to allocate towards crypto. That's when you want to buy. And you can see here, Square also buying. They said, we're announcing our new corporate balance sheet dollar cost average program under which each month we will be investing 10% of Block's month gross profits from Bitcoin products into purchases of Bitcoin for investment. Keep in mind, they're talking, I've seen this on so many different websites, they're talking about the monthly gross profits from Bitcoin products. So not just all of their profit, right? They had 2.9 billion in gross profit. And this just in the quarter, 2.09 billion. So, I mean, they're looking at maybe 8 billion in profits. That is insane. That is an insane amount. And the company is only worth about $40 billion. But they're talking about investing 10% of their Bitcoin product profit into Bitcoin. Keep in mind, that's not going to be 10% of this 2.1 billion, most likely. I don't know exactly how much they're going to make from it, but let's say they make half in Bitcoin profits, which I think is aggressive. I think it's less than that, but that'd be a $100 million buy each quarter. This is taking a play out of Tether's book because they have been making billions and billions each year, and they're going and spending a lot of their income to go buy Bitcoin as well. So yeah, we have players like Square that just instituted this. We have Tether, we have MicroStrategy, we have a variety of companies that just they're making money, they're making US dollars, and they're putting it into Bitcoin. They realize we really don't want to keep our value, our stored value, economic output in US dollars. We're going to go put it into Bitcoin. And even just 10% can hedge you so you really don't lose anything to inflation, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. The rest of their money that they make, they can use for all different things. But even if you just keep that in treasury bonds or treasury notes, and you put the rest in Bitcoin, that other 10% Bitcoin, you're going to do pretty well. Now, I want to go look at their shareholder letter. This is something that I don't see anyone else talking about. But when you go to their shareholder letter, you can really tell how much they love Bitcoin. And obviously, Jack Dorsey is the person that runs this company, right? And he's a big Bitcoin believer. But like really, the first sentence in this letter, why the hell are you spending so much time on Bitcoin? Like they're talking about Bitcoin in the first sentence on this, and then they have 3 pages about Bitcoin, like 3.5 pages about Bitcoin. It's all about Bitcoin, the first 3.5 pages. And that's just crazy. It shows you how much they're interested in Bitcoin, shows you how much they care about Bitcoin. They're talking about what they can do to make Bitcoin more secure. They're doing so much. And this is the thing that they are focused on the most. And Jack's been through a couple of these bull runs. So he is obviously going to be probably a little bit more bullish on Bitcoin right now than he is during the bear market. He'll probably not talk about it quite as much, but during the bull market, yeah, we're going to push it down your throats. We are going to buy Bitcoin. Less than 3% of the company's resources are dedicated to Bitcoin-related projects. So keep in mind, again, we're not talking about hundreds of millions of dollars going to buy Bitcoin every quarter. We're probably talking at tens of millions of dollars, but still, that's a lot of Bitcoin. So the company was actually down a little bit today. At the time of this recording, it was down. It was up like 7% yesterday after hours, then down 1.2% today. But keep in mind, this is a $42 billion company. I mean, this is larger than MSTR. If you didn't know that, like MSTR, even after this run up to $1,200, which is up 78% year to date, it's still twice as big as MicroStrategy. So it's important that they are bullish on Bitcoin as well. This is a crazy chart. This is going to make you bullish. Quantitative easing is starting again. You know what happens to Bitcoin. So this is the M2 money supply. Shows that from about 2023 to 2024, we actually saw a contraction. The percent change from a year ago was in the negative. So we were actually seeing contractions. Here we saw a deceleration of increase of the money supply, if that makes sense. But you can see this is the percent change. So we actually saw the M2 money supply shrinking. Now we just flipped into growing again. Okay, this is where things get crazy because essentially Bitcoin moves up when there's extra liquidity in the system. Bitcoin moves up because there's extra M2, extra M1. There's just more banks printing, and when that happens, more people try to find some way to either hedge against inflation or they just look for riskier investments. And that is when Bitcoin's price shoots up typically. We also know that Bitcoin's price does quite well when banks are in turmoil. When people don't trust the banks, they look for alternatives and they find Bitcoin. We just saw this article. Why? This just came out 2 days ago. Why hundreds of US banks may be at risk of failure. They're failing. We've already seen that. A bank failed just last week. We also know that the Treasury just made a new program to start buying back treasuries, the first time in 22 years. But we just got news that consulting firm Claros Group analyzed about 4,000 U.S. banks and found 282 banks face the dual threat of commercial real estate loans and potential losses tied to higher interest rates. The majority of those banks are smaller lenders with less than $10 billion in assets. And the problem with this is, if you are a small bank, let's say you're a client of one of these small banks, unless you have a real reason to stick around, like you have a bunch of loans through them or you're really tied up through them, you're probably withdrawing your money because you know that JP Morgan Chase is going to be fine. They're basically backstopped. But some of these smaller lenders, you're not so sure about. So you're withdrawing your money. They have a lot of money tied up in treasury notes. They have to sell them at a loss because they're long-dated, low-yielding treasury notes. Then they lose money. They don't have the liquidity, so that they go lose the money. And then, they go under. They go insolvent. They say here most of the banks aren't insolvent or even close to insolvent. They're just stressed. That means there will be fewer bank failures, but it doesn't mean that the communities and consumers won't get hurt by that stress. Yeah, directly, it's no consequence if they're below the insured deposit limits, which are quite high now at $250,000. Okay, most people don't have $250,000, but I'd say this is not that much money for a lot of really successful business owners or large to even medium to even, small to medium corporations. Like, this is payroll for a lot of mid-sized companies in a week, right? Keep that in mind. This is the former chair of the U.S. Federal Deposit Insurance Corp. Okay, I believe this has not changed in decades. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think it's changed in decades. So for most people, they're fine with $250,000. But I guarantee you, if a bank were to go down and they just let everyone falter that had, or everyone just, bite the bullet that has over $250,000 there, it would cause real panic that can happen. So there are a lot of banks that are set up to fail. And it's no wonder why. I mean, this has been circulating today. Let me play this for you. This is the chair of the Council of Economic Advisors, the agency providing the president with economic advice on domestic and international economic policy. This is a joke. And by that, I mean, it's a joke how dumb this is, but this is real. This is real. This is Jared Bernstein. Like, again, he advises the president. Let me play this for you because it's going to make you more bullish on Bitcoin and less bullish on politicians.
The U.S. government can't go bankrupt because we can print our own money.
It obviously begs the question, why exactly are we borrowing in a currency that we print ourselves? I'm waiting for someone to stand up and say, why do we borrow our own currency in the first place?
Like you said, they print the dollar. So why does the government even borrow?
Well, again, some of this stuff gets, some of the language that some of the language and concepts are just confusing. I mean, the government definitely prints money, and it definitely lends that money, which is why the government definitely prints money, and then it lends that money by selling bonds. Is that what they do? They sell bonds. Yeah, they sell bonds, right? Because they sell bonds and people buy the bonds and lend them the money. Yeah. So a lot of times, at least to my ear with MMT, the language and the concepts can be kind of unnecessarily confusing, but there is no question that the government prints money and then it uses that money to I guess I can't really talk. I don't get it. I don't know what they're talking about. Like, because it's like the government clearly prints money. It does it all the time, and it clearly borrows. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this debt and deficit conversation. So I don't think there's anything confusing there.
He's grinning ear to ear at certain points of this, and he has no idea what he's talking about. This is embarrassing. This is the person that's helping set economic policy. I hope you have some Bitcoin. I hope you have some Bitcoin because otherwise you may be set for a rude awakening. Elon Musk just said the dollar will be worth nothing if the U.S. doesn't do something about its national debt. Yes, there needs to be something done, but what continues to happen? Well, they just print more and more money. They print more and more money, give more stimulus, bail out more companies, more banks, and continue to indebt everyone more and more. And it's not just the US, it's countries all over the world. Now, I just want to give you a little bit of a reminder. Be careful. Someone just lost $68 million in crypto by copying and pasting the wrong address. I'll explain how this happened in a second, but I just had someone reach out to me personally via email and say, hey, I appreciate you, love your videos, I'm in your Patreon, stuff like that. I want to know about that trading bot. I've been trying to withdraw money from it, but it doesn't seem to work. I said, what trading bot? And he said, the trading bot that you talked about. And I said, where? And they said, on Discord, in our Discord conversation. I said, I did not talk to you about any trading bot. So be careful out there. I'm never going to reach out to you asking you how your investing's going. I'm never going to reach out to you in general. Never. Via email, Telegram, Discord, nothing. I have too much going on. I'm not reaching out to you. I'm making videos, right? And then you can join like the Patreon and stuff like that and get some content from me. You can follow along here. You can go sign up for Margex, but I'm not going to reach out to you specifically. So be careful. This person lost $68 million in crypto because they basically did a test transaction, if I remember right. And someone went and basically made a wallet with the same beginning and the same ending as the one that they just did the test on. And instead of going back and copying the same one, they just had a recent transaction and clicked that because it looked like the same wallet, and then sent their wrapped Bitcoin to the wrong address, the fake address. And they put a ... so that they couldn't see the middle part of their address that was different. So it was a different address, but it either began and ended with the same things or just ended with the same the same couple letters and numbers. So be careful out there. Make sure you're double checking everything. Make sure that you don't take anything for granted. Make sure that you're paying attention, because we are on a rocket ship to the moon eventually, right? And you want to make sure that you have your bags. You want to make sure that you don't get taken before we get to the mega bull run. Let me know your thoughts on this underneath the video. Like I've said for so long, right? Bitcoin is scarce. Bitcoin is valuable. Bitcoin is the future. Bitcoin is freedom. Bitcoin is self-sovereignty. And you want to make sure that you have some. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys watching. Now, during this dip, I did play some longs for myself and some other family members as well that wanted to get some help with that. If you guys want to do that, there's a link underneath the video to Margex. Also, some other links down there as well. BYDFi, Blowfin, CoinW. You can check out all those. I use multiple exchanges myself just because I think it's important to have crypto on different places just in case an exchange goes down for one reason or another for a certain time period. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great weekend. I'll see you in the next video.